Hi friends, I hope that everything's going well for you so far this quick moving summer semester. I want to use this short video to talk to you about some of your resumes and give you a chance to think about some of those tips and how they apply to your resume as well. So what I have here is 4 of your classmates' resumes. Some of them might be yours, and I've pulled them up here to talk about some tips and feedback that I would give folks on these resumes. Before you start watching or go any further in this video, please have your resume pulled up. Then when I talk about some of these tips and things that I want you to focus on, you can pause the video and look for those things happening in your resume or make notes of changes that you might want to make based on my feedback. Okay, so once you have your resume pulled up, let's go ahead and get started. So I pulled up Destiny's here first, and I want to talk about a couple of visual design components on Destiny's resume. One thing that I like is these really clear headings that make it easy to scan through and see the main points. But then I want to point out a couple of revisions that I might recommend that you make, Destiny. One is look at all of this white space over here on the right side of the page. Many of us might need to remember the 4-quadrant test, which we learned about on the Purdue OWL website, where we want to balance content across all 4 areas of our page. So if you take a look at your resume, Destiny, you'll notice that over here on the right-hand side, it's very empty, so there's no content there. It's a pretty easy fix. We can do a couple of things. We could add border lines across underneath our headings so that those lines, just like this line up here, extend across your page. You can also make multiple columns for things where the items are pretty short. So this area, for example, would be a great place to list 2 columns. And then you can also extend headings across your page. So here we could have childcare worker over on the left, and then on the right-hand side, we could have it say Sunset Academy and the date. So that heading goes across the whole page, and then our bulleted lists start underneath. A couple other things that I would recommend for you, Destiny. One is tell your reader more about awards like this. So for any of you that have awards that you're listing or forms of recognition that you're listing on your resume, tell your reader a little bit about how many people you were selected out of, when that award happened, what the context was. Was it a statewide award or award within your school? What did you get with that award? Did you get recognized at a ceremony? Did you get a scholarship? Did you get a certificate? Give your reader some context to know how big of a deal those awards are. The other thing I would note in terms of content, remember that we want to use those ACE statements that we read about in that guide from, I think it was Cornell, maybe. We had that resume guide and we looked at those accomplishment statements. Remember where we have an action verb, we give some context, and then we give the end result. So that's that ACE acronym there. So we want to make sure and start with really strong action verbs. So here, Destiny, I see you having a variety of words to start your lists. A word like put doesn't give me any vision of you doing a really great job at this job in this context. So remember to start with a strong action verb, give me some context, tell me where that work was happening, how many kids you were working with, and then tell me the end result. So what happened when you did this thing? Okay, I'm gonna go to another resume here. So on Berger's resume, I see that he's using a template that's pretty common. I think it's from Microsoft Word maybe, and that's fine. One thing to remember if you are using templates like from Microsoft Word, or Google Docs probably has resume templates as well, it is likely that other people who are applying for that same job also have used that template. So it's fine to use a template and it establishes great visual design, but you also might have a resume that looks like other folks that are in that stack of applicants. So just keeping that in mind if you want to make some tweaks to make it your own. But one thing that's good about this visual design here is that we see it spreading across the page more, and that's just because he's taken up a little bit of empty space over here with this line. His heading is over here on the left, and the subheadings are moved inside here. That makes it really easy to scan to the main sections. This color added here also makes it easy to scan to the positions that Berger held. I see Berger using some what look like to be closer to our accomplishment statements we want to try to use, which is great. I would encourage you as you scroll down through your verbs here to think about how you could strengthen them. So again, a word like worked is not super strong. So all of this is work, right? So you want to strengthen that verb by talking about a specific skill or especially a transferable skill that you portrayed in that position. So for you, Berger, I'd think about for the position that you're applying for, what kind of skills and characteristics are they looking for? And then also scanning through all these positions here, think about if you're representing the range of skills that you want to portray. Do you show teamwork skills, leadership skills, communication skills, technology skills, organizational skills? How can you revise these verbs to make sure and show the range of your experiences? Let's scroll down on Berger's here, see if there's anything else we want to talk about. Like we saw in Destiny's, and adding some more information in your education section is helpful. If you can put down your major, certainly your GPA if it's good, any awards or leadership positions you have, extracurricular involvement. If you can also put down relevant coursework for the position you're applying for, all of those things add a lot to that education section. All right, great. Maybe we can just look at one more here. So for Jack's resume, again, I see him spreading across the page pretty well. This is also a template, I think, Jack, from Word or somewhere like that. I've seen this kind of format several times. One thing I wanted to point out about your resume, Jack, is really things that seem like super duper small end up being a little bit distracting for your reader. So here we see this capital L. That seems like a small thing, but it's right at the top of your resume, one of the very first things they're going to read. So that gets a little distracting as well. I also, again, want to point out these verbs here. If I'm scanning through your resume, I see provided twice, 3, 4, 5 times, right? So we want to really vary those action verbs to show the variety of skills that you have. The other thing to remember is if you currently have this job, use present tense to talk about your experiences here. So you're still providing these services. So you could just say provide excellent and professional service, provide strong communication. So as you revise here, talk about this in present tense. The other thing, think about what these content is over here. I know that a lot of these templates give you smaller sections over here that could be language, they could be other skills, they could be certifications. Make sure that this is really strong because readers read a document like this in a Z pattern. So they start at the top left, go across to the top right, go down to the bottom left, and then across. So this is one of the first things they're going to focus on. So we really want to make sure what's in that top third of our page, or like our video said, what's above the thumbs if they were holding your resume, that really tells the story that you want to tell and really focuses on those areas that you want to focus on. If not, we should move this out of here and really put the most important information in the top. Could be your education, could be those work experiences, could be certifications. We want to make sure the top third of the page is the strongest part of our resume for that particular position. So we've talked a lot about formatting today, some content ideas, especially in terms of using those accomplishment statements. If you'd like to chat about your particular resume, I'd love to see you during my office hours this week, so check out the times for those on the announcement with this video. Thanks a lot, everybody.